Welcome to Sip and Tip. I'm MJ.
And I'm Sine.
Today we are going to talk about
fathers.
Happy Father's Day! So, one of the staples that I absolutely adore, but in the moment don't really like about my dad, is that he shows up when I need him to. Not always when I want him to, but when I need him to. And that's quite annoying as a daughter because when I need him to is not always when I want him to. But he shows up and he makes that presence, and that's a big deal for me.
I think that's a very good trait for fathers, is that you show up.
Yes.
Because children need their fathers. I myself haven't had that luxury, but I love seeing it. I see it with my granddaughter. I love seeing that she has her father, and he plays with her. You know, not too many fathers in my lifetime have been there for their kids. So this Father's Day, for me, I'm just trying to make sure that everybody understands, be there for your children. Be present.
Right. And that gives me another thought, is big shout out to those fathers that stepped up, that did not need to be a father. My father is by all means not blood related, but I will do and follow through, and I will take a bullet for this man because he's been there for me.
And I can understand that. I love him too.
Yes. And so, by all means, fathers is not necessarily biological. Fatherhood is really about what you do and how you show up, and not where you laid.
Right. Exactly. Because too many times you may have a problem with your child's mother, and you take that out by saying, okay, I'm absent. Being absent does not make a good father.
Right.
You should be there for that child, even if you're not there for that woman. Be there for that child. Find a way to, I don't know, find a common neutral ground where you can meet up and spend time with your child.
Yes. And we're not oblivious that some mothers or other caretakers do not make it easy.
Very.
But as a parent, sometimes we have to suck it up, buttercup. And we just have to do what we have to do for the betterment of our children.
Yes. And please don't take it out on the child.
Right.
That is something that I've seen a lot of too. Like, the child is innocent in all of this. So a phone call to just say, hey, little man, or hey, baby girl, what you doing? That makes a big difference. Even if it's once a week. If you're not around that often. If you're out of town, once a week, once a month, something. Any interaction with their fathers is a great thing.
And it's not always monetary.
Exactly.
Yes, I know there's a big push for child support. But let's face it, parents are always struggling financially because children cost a lot.
And they do.
So, even if you can't financially be part of your child's life, be present in other ways.
Right.
Yes, it would help to be financially there because children cost money either way.
And the mother's probably struggling, so it would be helpful.
But that's not the end-all be-all.
Right.
Sharing holidays, sharing special occasions,
taking them to the park.
Right. Simple stuff is always helpful.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to get on a gloomy note for Father's Day. We got to pick this back up. But always, when I was younger, my father would bring me to the seafood place. Every summer, we would go down to Quincy and we would go have seafood every summer. And even to today, I remember that. I remember our walks along the beach afterwards. I remember just the conversations and the laughs that we had. And it was so simple. It wasn't something big. We shared a seafood platter. It was great.
That's good. It's the little things.
It's the little things.
Yeah.
And so even instilling those little memories and those little traditions goes a long way.
Right. And just little conversations even. If they're having a bad day and you're talking to them and you have some type of words of wisdom, anything that would resonate in their minds when they get a little older and say, my dad said this at one point and it cheered me up. That could be so detrimental to their inner being.
Right.
Because you're giving them something. something that they can carry with them.
Yeah, and you don't have to be some big wig at a corporate office.
Nope.
You don't have to be employed. You don't have to be anything that society tells you to be a great father.
A poor man with no money that gives their child a whole lot of time is so much more important than a rich man who wants to disappear.
Right.
So trust me. Just
Right.
be there. Play with them. Give them knowledge. Teach them something, some trade that you might know. Maybe you know how to tie knots. Just tying knots is a good thing.
And for my community people, even though you may not align with your male figure, or maybe you have transitioned into a different part or a different lifestyle, it's okay to show up the way you are and how you feel comfortable to be there for your child.
True
Be
enough.
you.
Yes. I honestly believe that you should definitely not hide anything from your children. You should talk
Presentation's
to them.
key.
Right. Talk to them. Be honest, because you don't want them to grow up and lie to you.
Right.
So always be honest.
Don't set a foundation of distrust.
Right.
Be who you are authentically and just be there for them. Children are always going to feel like no one's there for them, always going to feel like the world's against them. That's just being a child, because they're learning so much and they have to transition in so many ways. But we as adults should be those anchors. We should love unconditionally. They're going to say some things that hurt your feelings. They're going to say some things you don't like. They're going to say a lot of things they don't like. But until they come to the understanding and come into their own, they need us more than they know.
Yes.
They need you, the fathers, more than they know.
Right. And if you've been an absent father and you're trying to be in their lives, try not to take their words to heart as in painfully daggered and run away.
Yes.
Take it to mean that this is my child's pain and I need to help them heal.
And just because you're a different person does not mean they're ready to see you as a different person.
That's true.
It's going to take work.
Definitely.
So work at it. Little by little, day by day. Show up even though they're saying you weren't there, or they're saying that they don't want that. Show up when you're needed, not when they want you to. Because as children, we might not always know when we need you to show up.
So true.
My daddy taught me
I was
that.
just about to say yes. I think that's a great thing.
Yes. So just be that person. Be there for them. Be in their corner. Even if you have figuratively nothing to offer, you have something to offer.
Of course, you know how to throw a ball.
And if you don't, I'm sure you know how to talk to them about something.
I mean, yes. I mean, my son likes to throw a frisbee, even though he can't throw straight. Hey, throw a ball, throw a frisbee, do something. Those little things mean so much. So, read a book.
Right?
You know, and if you can't read, let your child read to you.
There's a lot of different things you can do. But I think we get stuck on the societal kind of picture, if you will, of fatherhood.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that you have to live in the house. It doesn't mean that you have to provide everything for this child. It doesn't mean those things.
It just means you contribute to your child.
You take
chose
interest in your child.
Yes.
Or children.
True enough. Even if it's with different women, each child needs their father.
Yes.
Whether it's once a week, whether it's once a month, it doesn't matter as long as you are there. Make your presence consistently known, and that makes you at least one step closer to being a better father.
Yes.
Well, here's some questions from a father to you mothers. What's the funniest thing you've seen a father do?
The most recent funny thing that I've seen a father do is on Instagram. Man, they said the man couldn't be trusted because he was supposed to have the baby sleep here, and the baby's head was in the sofa. He was hanging
Oh, my
on the
goodness.
I was so tickled. He woke up and was like, "Oh, yo, come back here." I was. I think it's cute.
I don't have answers. answer for that one.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been seeing a lot of funny things on Instagram and
I mean,
TikTok.
I told a good dad joke, a little while ago. That was pretty funny.
Oh, jeez. You should tell that joke again.
That's fine. What is the best attribute that any father has shown you?
Consistency.
Yeah. I'm not sure if the word is compassion, but that's how I feel. Like, I've had a father figure show me more compassion than my own father at some point in my life. So yeah, compassion, I would say.
If you were preparing me a Father's Day meal, what would it consist of?
Steak.
Yeah.
He likes steak.
Steakless steak.
Steak and bacon. It would be steak
wrap,
and bacon.
Oh,
and
bacon wrapped steak, not
I'm
steak
about to
wrapped
say,
bacon.
maybe a couple of scallops. Some
Bacon wrapped
potatoes. That's right.
Garlic potatoes. And broccoli.
Oh, and maybe some broccoli. Yeah, some broccoli.
What's the
Don't
last one?
forget the mushrooms and
Broccolini.
onions.
What is that?
It has smaller heads and longer stems.
Mm-hmm.
The broccolini.
That one.
Yikes.
You never had the broccolini? They're really good.
Okay.
Sounds like a fake vegetarian. Right?
It's a real... Oh, here we go.
Broccoli's too close to meat, so we gotta...
No, he didn't.
So who is your favorite TV father and why?
Dr. Huxtable. Just the character.
Just keep it at TV, I understand.
Oh, why? Because he was always there. He taught his children on the show different aspects of life. He presented himself in a way that was a role model, as a role model, and he really helped his children through different
times,
problems while still maintaining his other relationships.
And I can see that. I used to love watching the Huxtables. But it's funny because if I had to choose, I'd have to align with you, but that wasn't my initial thought. But then after my initial thought, I had too many contradictions in it. Because I'm seeing Denzel Washington. And I'm trying to remember the father figure that he was. You probably know what I'm talking about, but I can't.
Only time I remember him being a father figure was Man on Fire.
Yes. Yes. I see that. I see him, but
Killing people.
it's not so much killing people.
But
He's
the father figure.
protecting her. He's making sure she's safe, and he does whatever it takes to maintain her safety. I believe that is what a father should do.
That's
And
fair.
it's funny because I saw him again in Fences. And I'm sitting here going, again, I may not have liked the man that he was as far as like getting someone else knocked up and having his wife now take care of someone else's baby. But in that same breath, the sternness that he took with his child because his child felt entitled. That I don't know. I'm that person. You have to be stern. A father should not only be that funny, happy-go-lucky, not disciplining, not this. No, you have got to be the disciplinarian too. You have got to show that mom is not always the bad guy. You're not always the good guy. You have got to have a united front. So, in my opinion, a father also needs to be stern as well as open-minded. And so
You've also got a Denzel thing, so I think there's...
Yeah, that too, but...
You know who else I like?
You help me.
I also like the father from Everyone Hates Chris.
Yes.
Terry Crews, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't always like the antics and the way he goes about things, but the meaning behind it is very honorable.
That's true.
Like, he loves his children. He teaches them the hard knock way. Mm-hmm. And that's, the typical everyday way of parenting. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't sugarcoat things, but he's there. He's
Right.
present. He holds his family to high standards. He is, you know, in their umbrella of resources and the way they live their life in the show is just very honorable because he's able to explain to the children how to be better adults or better children, give them life lessons while still giving them that love. It might not be that mushy love,
Right.
because you know he's all but it's that fatherly love.
Yes, exactly.
What is it you would like to say to your father or father figure on this Father's Day?
Thank you.
Hi, I'd like to see you more often. There ain't really much I can't say.
No, I was expecting worse.
Look. My whole thing is I've forgiven everything. My thing is, as an adult, I would like to see my father initiate communication more often.
Mm.
You know, just pick up the phone and say, "Hey, babe, I was thinking about you today." That would make my day. I'm not saying every day. I'm not saying every month. But to just pop up out the blue and just say, "Hey, baby, I thought about you." I am your firstborn, so that's just what I think. I don't know. I mean, too many fathers want to say, "Well, the phone works both ways." Yeah, well, you know something? I didn't ask to be here. And if I've already done most of the work, I don't see any reason why you can't do some of it. So, it is what it is. And that's how I feel about my children's father and everybody that don't do right by their kids. The phone does work both ways, but the children didn't ask to be here. You guys got to pick up that phone. Just makes a better difference. Sorry.
One of the best parts of being a father.
I think being a father is the best part of being a father. It's not anything that I would replace. It's also not something that I can quantify. It's something I take pride in, you know, saying that I have a daughter. So yeah, the best part of being a father is being a father and being there as a father.
When did you know that she had you wrapped around that little finger? And do you find it very, like, I don't know, fun?
So I was in the delivery room.
Very early.
And I actually, you know, pulled her out. And I think at that moment my assumption was she's going to have me wrapped around her finger, and she might have been maybe a week old, and she like grabbed my finger while she was like napping, and that was probably it.
I know a funny moment when we were traveling. Do you recall that funny moment? Your daughter actually like showed you who was boss.
So we were in between Boston and Ohio, and we stopped at like a chain restaurant or something, and she stood on the table.
Yep.
And like she kept trying to take a fry, and like I kept moving it, and then she like took the like napkin that was under the fry and just pulled them all off, and like knocked all my food down, and
that poor thing.
And it was only my food, like, that got disturbed.
That's why I brought it.
And to this day, like,
It's a
she
dad
eats off of my plate.
Yep.
And not her mom's plate. And I'll have to, like, make food and put it on my plate sometimes in order for her to eat. Because if I just, like, take something, like, out of a pot to give to her, like, she'll show no interest. But if it's on my plate, then she'll want to take it. So, yeah, there's that.
Can't have nothing.
She's a true daddy's girl.
Can't have nothing.
I really love that. I think that's awesome. How do you think you're going to take her being a teenager?
Oh, I'm not going to take it. I take full advantage of my Second Amendment rights, and will probably do so more thoroughly the older she gets. And as much as I am looking forward to it, I am not at all looking forward to it. I do miss being able to just, pick her up and strap her to my chest in the little carrier and just, take her out and about. Because, she was out in the world, but she was out with me and, she's, right on my chest and,
Protected.
safe.
That's right.
But there will be a point where she is out and she won't be strapped to my chest. And, I won't have control over the surroundings. So that does give me pause. But I will still be there, regardless of the nerves, because I want to protect, the little lady that I've had all this time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm so happy. I think she's going to appreciate that. She is.
Now, what do you take from your upbringing and rehash into your parenting style?
I mean, my father was absent for significant chunks of my childhood, and I personally don't think it's hard being a father compared to being a father that isn't there. I think I would have a much harder time not actively being in my child's life than, being there and dealing with, the everyday things that come with, being a father, being a, from, boyfriend to, fiance and, soon to be husband. The best advice that my father gave me was, do what you have to do now so you can do what you want to do later.
I say that to my son.
And I want to relax later. So now, I don't really relax at all. But it's good. I mean, my daughter needs a lot of attention, and she gets it from me. She gets it from her mom, from her grandmother, and it's worth the time now. So, being present, being active, very important for any father or father figure.
Well, that concludes the episode on fathers for Father's Day, and we hope you have a great one.
Happy Father's Day. Peace, love, and happiness.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Have a good day, everybody.